Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we will be reading a new book called Pet Trouble, Mud Puddle, Poodle by T.T. Sutherland, the author of The Dragon Prophecy, if you ever heard of that book before. And today we'll be reading Pet Trouble, Mud Puddle, Poodle. Also, guys, this book is very good, I think, because I read one of these books already and I like it, but it's really weird. Okay, Chapter 1. When my mom said we could finally get a dog, I knew exactly what I wanted, but you won't understand it until you know a little about me. So, that's where I'm going to start. My name is Rosie Sanchez. I cannot pronounce that. I have curly black hair and brown eyes, and my favorite color is pink. I am 10 years old. I am almost 10 years old. Guys, I am almost 10 years old. And I have four older brothers. Four older brothers. Try to imagine that. I'll help for starters. They are loud. They are dirty. They crash around the house, breaking things and making as much noise as a herd of hippos all day long. And they never pay attention to me because I'm too little. Even though Danny is only 1 year older than me, and I think it is not fair at all, so why would I want a dog like that? Another big, loud, dirty animal in the house. We already have 4. No, sir. I knew what I wanted. I wanted a little girl dog with pink ribbons in her hair, like mine. She would be as sweet and quiet and pretty and ladylike, just like me. Well, okay, I'm not always sweet or quiet, fine, or ladylike, but can you blame me? Just think about what I have to compete with. If I'm going to get anywhere in this house, I have to make a lot of noise too. But once I had my perfect dog, I knew everything would be different. She would be my dog. She'd help balance out all the boy rumpus going on in my house, her parents' house, all the time. She would be my little princess, and then we could ignore my brothers together. The way they always ignore me. Well, things didn't turn out quite that way I planned. Danny was the one who started it. His best friend Parker got a dog right before school started, and Danny would not shut up about that dog for like 2 weeks straight. Guess what Merlin did? And Merlin's such a great dog, and it'd be so awesome if Merlin had a friend. Ahem. And on and on and on. We all finally got to meet this miracle dog on Thursday before the talent show. When Parker brought him over, I will admit Merlin was really pretty. His smiley face, but after he left, our nice blue couch was covered in golden dog fur. My brothers didn't care, but I did. I like things to be neat and clean. No big sweaty brothers are allowed in my room, so it's by the fair, cleanest room in the house. After Parker and Merlin left, Danny gave Mom the begging look. He made his eyes really big and clasped his hands together under his chin. Please, Mom, he said. Please, can we get a dog? He didn't know I was listening. I was hiding behind the couch. The that the now extremely furry couch. Because I just knew he was going to try this trick. Well, Mom said, he is a really sweet dog, isn't he? We got another golden retriever, Danny said. Then he could play with Merlin. It would be awesome. Oh, no, you don't, I yelled, popping out from behind the couch. Danny jumped a mile, which was totally hilarious. I wagged my finger at him. You know I don't want a golden retriever, Danny. I should get to decide what kind of dog we get, because I'm the youngest. So I'll be home with her after you're all in college. Only 1 year longer than me, Danny shouted. Only 1 year longer than me, Danny shouted, and that's only if we don't throw you out sooner for being bossy and spying on us all the time. You were being sneaky, I hollered. You are being a pain in the behind. I don't want to say that word. It's inappropriate. Danny hollered back. I'm going to lie down, Mom said. See, look, you ruined it, Danny yelled at me. Mom, wait! All right, listen, Mom said. We can get a dog, but you 5 have to agree on what kind to get. That's the deal. Then she went to put her earplugs in, which happens a lot. She should have known that deal wouldn't work in the house. Though my brothers and I never agree on anything. When we went to New York City on vacation last year, Danny wanted to go to the Yankee Stadium. Carlos wanted to go to the Museum of Natural History to see the dinosaur bones. Miguel wanted to go over to Rockefeller Center and look for celebrities, and Oliver wanted to visit the New York Union, NYU in all caps. I got no idea what that means. Because that's where he wants to go to college. Oh, it's a college. I did not even know that. I wanted to go in the American Girl Palace and have tea in the plaza, just like Eloise, my favorite book character. You see why I have to be really loud to get anything I want. In the end, Mom took me to the plaza while Dad took all of my brothers to see the Yankee Stadium, which was fine by me, but it wasn't going to be that easy to solve his argument unless we got 5 dogs, which I didn't think Mom was entirely ready for. When we were all sitting around the dinner table on Saturday, the night after the talent show, even Oliver was there, which was amazing. He's 17 on Saturdays. He's usually out with his girlfriend. Ew. Miraway? What is that kind of name? Miraway? What the? Miru? No, it's girlfriend Miru. That's like the weirdest name ever. No offense. No offense. Miru. My mom says Miru is my... What the... My bonita. And I say she is way, way, way too cool for Oliver. Anyway, I think he stuck around this Saturday night because we'd all been fighting all day about what kind of dog to get. He probably knew that if he left, he would definitely lose. He would definitely lose. He would definitely lose. If it was Dad's turn to cook, so we were having his famous chili. Bless me. Famous chili con carne, which I like because it tastes good, but I don't like it. I don't like because good, but I don't like because it's messy. And if I get any on my clothes, it's impossible to get out. Plus, the boys always spill it all over the pretty yellow tablecloths because it haven't mentioned this already. They are slobs. Slobs! So Dad says when we are almost done eating, I hear we're talking about dogs. Poor Dad, he's a big shot lawyer, so he works all the time. And when he's really busy, he gets totally spaced out, like he can't think about anything but his cases. And then when he comes back down to earth, he's always being on everything that's happening. He always noticed my haircut about 10 days after I get one. He'll ask Danny questions about baseball in the winter and soccer in the spring, even if he's just been to one of his games last year, he congratulated Carlos on winning the 7th grade science fair. Seriously, no kidding. A month after it happened, I think he still hasn't noticed that Oliver finally has girlfriends. Oh my gosh. So he had no idea what kind of fireworks he was setting off with that question. Mom did, though she flinched as soon as the words were out of his mouth. Everyone is being unfair, Danny shouted immediately. It was my idea to get a dog. I want a golden retriever. What? I always wanted a dog, Miguel cried. He's 15 and he's turned into Mr. Cool ever since he got to high school. I swear he uses more hair gel than the entire cast of Mom's favorite telenovela ago, before you could even talk, Danny. And I want a Rottweiler. No way, Carlos chimed in. We would get a Border Collie. Okay, I would actually agree on a Border Collie, but I love Corgis better. Also, guys, do you see the Corgi background that I just put on? I hope you like it. We should get a Border Collie. Border Collies are so smart. They actually are. Danny rolled his eyes. Of course Carlos wants a smart dog. He's world's smartest than the rest of us. I could just imagine Carlos and a Border Collie solving calculus problems together and laughing at the rest of the 8th graders. We have to get a giant... I have never heard of this dog breed, and I love dogs. I cannot say this. Shun Other, Oliver announced firmly. He always tries to sound like being the oldest means he gets to make the decisions, but it never works. I don't know what that is, Danny said, but it sounds like a cookie. Not a dog, lame golden retriever. I banged my fork on the table. Make sure... No, I yelled. None of these big dogs. I want a toy poodle. I want a toy poodle. My brothers all groaned loudly. Danny pretended to thump his head on the table in despair. Of course, he got chilly in his hair, but I wasn't about to tell him that. Absolutely not, Oliver said. A small, girly dog, Miguel whined. No, A small, girly dog? Miguel whined. No way! The guys would laugh at me so much if we got a little fluffy dog. Danny protested. Mom, tell her no, Carlos said. Shut up, I yelled. I can't have an opinion. I want a toy poodle. This has been going on for 3 days, Mom said to Dad. Oh dear, Dad said, rubbing his head. I thought about shouting, I want a toy poodle again. But Dad looked like he was thinking, so I decided not to. My friends think my house is a total chaos. But I most figured out when it's the right time to shout and when it's the right time to be quiet. When Dad has the little frown on his face, I know he's about to say something clever. And if I am quiet right then, most of the time he'll think I'm the one being good, and he'll let me win. We can figure out this, he said. Everyone stay here. He jumped up and went into the basement, which is where he works when he's home. Danny scowled at me across the table. I poked my tongue at him. Seriously, you guys, Oliver said. Is this okay now? Let's be grown-ups, boys. We really have to get a giant... Oh my gosh, this word is so hard. Schnauzer. Schnauzer, I think. It's one of the only breeds Miro is allergic to. Poodles are hypoallergenic too. I said I had spent hours memorizing that word. Me too. It means they don't shed, and so most people aren't allergic to them. It's one of the best things about poodles. I knew Mom would like that too, because she'd probably be one vacuuming up all the dog hair if we got a big shedding dog. Yeah, but poodles are stupid. Oh my gosh, this word has so much inappropriate words. And mean words too. Wow, Carlos said. Yeah, but poodles are stupid, Carlos said. Carlos, Mom said warningly. Actually, they're the second smartest of all the dogs breeds. I said, it's true, you can look it up on the internet. Yeah, I said, it's snottily. He deserved it. He thought he was so brilliant. But he didn't really know anything about poodles. Yeah, right, Danny said. Like anything with a head that small could possibly have a brain. They're smarter than you are. Dun 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 dun. I flared. Rosie, Mom said. I was pretty close to flinging a spoonful of chili at Danny. I didn't even care that it would make a mess. But luckily, just then, Dad came clumping back up the stairs. He was carrying the whiteboard from above his desk, which he had erased completely about 30 seconds. Just staring at him. Please join me in the living room, Dad said with a grin. With a grin. We all shot out of our chairs and stamped into the living room like rampaging water buffalo. Listening, I want to be ladylike, but if you don't move fast in this house, you'll end up sitting on the floor. I made it, which made him even madder, but he still beat Carlos Botter, who ended up sitting on the carpet. Dad balanced the whiteboard on the chair from the kitchen and drew a chart on it. that looked like this. Did I get that right? Dad asked. Are those the breeds you all have decided on? Toy poodle? Toy poodle? I shouted. Yeah, Dad, that's right, Carlos said. Woo! Rottweiler, Miguel yelled. No, woo! Golden Retriever. Danny hollered. Round 1, round 2. Dad smiled. We're going to decide this fairly. We're going to play a game. Yay, they're playing a game, guys. Chapter 2. I was instantly suspicious. Susiamungas. As you can imagine, it's hard to win games in my house when there are 4 big older brutes competing against me. There better not be running involved, I said, or baseballs or eating. We discovered last summer that Danny can eat 12 hot dogs in a row without throwing up. 13 hot dogs, not so much. Dad shook his head. Don't worry, Rosie. We're trying to be fair here. Since you all are so sure of the breeds you want, we're going to find out how much you know about them. Oh, that's actually so good. He's so smart. The dad's so smart, guys. I seriously nearly punched the air. I was so excited. Nobody knew this, but I'd been thinking about poodles for months. I'd read everything I could find about them. On the internet, my brothers thought I only wanted one because they're little and princessly looking, which was kind of true, but there are lots of little princessy looking dogs, and I had studied them all before deciding on a toy poodle. Definitely a toy poodle. Signora, if I could request your assistance, Dad said gallantly to Mom. He whispered to her, and she went into the study and came back with a sheet of blank paper and a pencil for each of us. We can begin. Round 1. I took the pencil from Mom and grabbed the big art book of Aztec monuments from the coffee table to balance the paper on. Ladies and gentlemen, Dad said. He clasped his hands behind his back and walked up and down. I could tell he was pretending to be in court. I saw him present a case in jury once. He's really convincing. Someday I'd like to win arguments like he does, by knowing stuff and saying it right, but that's not stick to because as loud as possible. Your first task, Dad said, is to draw the kind of dog you want. But if you're a really bad artist, I asked, like Danny, shut up. Danny shouted, you know you stink at Pictionary. I yelled, but you know you stink at Pictionary. I yelled back, it doesn't matter, Dad said calmly. We're not looking for beauty. We're looking for an accurate representation on a 4-point scale. Where I lost my place. Oh no. On a 4-point scale. None of us had any idea what that meant, but we all started drawing anyway. This was easy for me. I had downloaded a ton of pictures of toy poodles and saved them in a secret folder of our family computer. I called it Zac Efron. Just to be sure my brothers wouldn't click on it. Mostly what I like to draw is dresses. so I didn't know much about drawing dogs, but I tried to draw Vicky. She's this toy poodle who's won all these awards and has her own website and everything. I know how beautiful she looks. Her teeny tiny paws so pitter patter. And when she trots, and she is always groomed to perfection. Her soft white fur is practically sculpted like a sweet little marshmallow around her face, and the pom-poms on her ankles her exactly round, so is the puff on the end of her tail. She is gorgeous. We all handed out drawings in to Dad. When Danny took mine to pass it along, he said, "That's not a dog. That's some kind of dumb hedge sculpture." "Oh yeah, you're supposed to be," I shot back. A mop of grapefruit. "That's enough," Mom said. She and Dad studied the drawings. Mom had brought her laptop in so they could look up the dogs on the internet. "All right," Dad said finally. "Each of you could get a total of 4 points in this round. 1 for getting each of these correct: ears, tail, body proportion, and nose shape." Son, he put one hand on Oliver's shoulder. "I'm afraid you get a 0. He held up Oliver's giant Shinoza picture. The drawing of long floppy ears, a long tail, and a schnauzer, which I know because I looked up miniaturized schnauzers when I was researching little dogs. In fact, Oliver's picture didn't look anything like a dog I'd ever seen before. I started laughing. "All right, fine," Oliver admitted. "I don't know what they look like. I just saw the name on a list of hyperallergic dog breeds. But come on, you guys. Miru will never come over again if we get something she's allergic to." "Boo," Danny said. "You're going to college next year. You shouldn't even get to vote." Oliver crossed his arms and sulked while Dad read the rest of the results. "Miguel, you get 2 points," he said. "You lost 1 point because your ears are sticking straight up. Rottweiler ears are small, but they flop over. We also docked you a point for making the nose too pointy." Carlos got 3 points. He lost 1 because the tail on the border collie was too short and straight, which was dumb because we've all seen Babe enough times to know that border collies' tails are long and feathery. Danny and I both got 4 points. Of course, he knew exactly what a golden retriever looked like because he'd been hanging out with Merlin 24 out of 7, 24/7 for 2 weeks. He was going to be my toughest competition. So now the chart looked like this. Name: Rosie, Danny, Carlos, Miguel, and Oliver. Breed: toy poodle, golden retriever, border collie, Rottweiler, and giant schnauzer. Round 1. Rosie 4 points, Danny 4 points, Carlos 3 points, Miguel 2 points, Oliver 0 points, of course. "I don't want to play anymore," Oliver said. "I don't care what kind of dog we get. Mira's probably going to break up with me anyway." We ignored him. Oliver gets moody and ridiculous sometimes. Mom says it's a teenage thing. But whatever. It's not going to happen to me. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, brother. Round 2. Dad said lightning round. 1 point each. Name a famous dog of your breed. can be real or fictional. Miguel, go. Not fair, Miguel protested. There aren't any famous Rottweilers. I knew I'd seen a couple in movies, but it wasn't about to help him. There are some, Dad said, checking the internet. Sorry, Miguel, 0 points. Carlos, your turn. Fly. And Rex, from Babe. Carlos said promptly. Again, that was hardly fair since he watched that movie all the time. It's one of the few we all like because it's not too babyish for Oliver and Miguel, but it's not too scary for me or not too boring for Danny. Danny, Dad said, Merlin. Danny yelled. That doesn't count, I shouted. Merlin's not famous. He's famous at our school. Danny pointed out. That was true. Merlin showed up on the playground on the first day of school, and a couple of days later, he ran through the cafeteria during lunch and started a food fight. I hadn't quite figured out how that happened, but I guess was that Danny was involved. It was a mess, and we all had to clean it up, which was gross. Anyways, I figured all that was a sign that Merlin was totally out of control. Did we want a dog like that? I thought not. Can you think of a slightly more famous golden retriever? Dad asked Danny. All right. That about one that plays basketball in the movies, Danny said. And there's one on that TV show Mom watches too. He should have known their names, I said. The judges rule that's good enough, Mom said. Point for Danny. Miss Rosie, how about you, Dad asked Vicky. I said, glaring at Danny. She's making that up, Danny said. I'm not. I said, she's won lots of dog shows. She nearly won Westminster a few years ago. Mom looked it up. She's right, Mom said, tapping on her keyboard. Isn't she the cutest thing? I had feelings I was winning her over. Famous in the world of toy poodles is not the same thing as famous, Danny said. At least she has her own website, I retorted. You can't say that about Merlin. Round 3, Dad interjected before we started yelling again. Bum, bum, bum. I'm telling you guys, the dad is so smart in this book. He's so smart. Started yelling again. You have 2 minutes to write down all the reasons you can think of why we should get the kind of dog you want. Feel free to use bullet points in complete sentences. As many reasons as you can think of. Go! I grabbed the pencil and started writing fiercely on the couch. Carlos and Danny were going on a silver pen he was holding as if he was checking out of the reflection of his hair. Time, Dad said finally. He took out of his essays from us. Miguel, Mom said, sounding exasperated. To meet girls. It's not a good reason to get a Rottweiler. Is to meet girls. What the? That doesn't even make sense. Sure it is, Miguel said, doing that sideways grin and nod, and he'd been practicing it in the mirror all summer. He doesn't know we've noticed him doing it, but Danny and I make fun of it all the time. He thinks it makes him look like a movie star. We think it makes him look like he can't hold his head up straight. I want a tough, manly dog, Miguel said. Chicks dig and kind of things. Please never say chicks dig that again, Oliver said. They do, Miguel said. Catalin and Emma and Sarah will think I'm so cool if they see me walking a big tough and a Rottweiler. Miru wouldn't be impressed, Oliver said, the superior way, like his girlfriend is cooler than every other girl in every girl on this planet. Okay, she kind of is. She is a nose piercing. Oh my gosh. She draws comic books and wears tall boots, and goes to rock concerts all the time. I have no idea why she's dating him. Dad said. All right, he can have 1 point for that. As debatable as his theory is, Mom raised one eyebrow, but she wrote it on his chart. So Rosie has 5 points. Danny has 5. Carlos has 4. Miguel has 2. Oliver quit, so he got all zeros. Okay. No, wait. How does Miguel have because... Oh, I know why. Rosie hasn't done the thingy yet. Carlos, Dad said. You list 4 reasons here, but they all sound like much the same reason to me. What? Carlos said, looking offended. Let's see, you say border collies are smart. It'll be easy to teach them tricks. They learn fast, and we can enter them into competitions. I said. You could just have written, they're smart, they're smart, they're smart, they're smart. Well, they are, Carlos cried. I'll give you 2 points for that. Dad said, smart in competitions. Now, Carlos looked grumpy too. Danny and Rosie, Dad said. He paused dramatically. It's like how he gets all theatrical when he's doing close arguments to the jury. Danny, you right. Could be a friend to Merlin. 1 point. He paused again. Rosie, you right. You're right. Poodles don't shed, so she won't make the house messier. 1 point. I wriggled in my seat. This was stressful. Danny, Gordons are friendly and easygoing. 1 point. Rosie, Poodles are hyperallergenic, so our allergic friends can visit. And you even spelled it right. Very impressive. 1 point. Thank you. Thank you. Rosie, Oliver had huffily. Danny, I still don't want a poodle. Danny, a golden retriever will run around the park and chase tennis balls with me. Rosie, a toy poodle, will cuddle on the couch with me, and I can dress her up. I'm not sure either of those should get a point, but we will give 1 to each of you and call it even. I held my breath. Danny and I were tied with 8 points. Did he have anything else written down? And finally, Dad said, looking each of us in the eyes, I think that's a jury trick too. Finally, Rosie writes, we should get a little girl toy poodle so that there's something else like me in the house. What? Danny yelled. That doesn't count. It does too, I hollered. You've got Carlos and Miguel and Oliver. I don't have anybody. That's so lame, Danny cried. She's saying she should win because she's the only girl. Yeah, Rosie always gets what she wants, Carlos complained. That is not true, I bellowed. Do you know how much sports TV we watch around here? Or how many boys are always everywhere when I want to have a slumber party? Or how I always have to sit in the middle in the way back of the minivan? Boys, Rosie, my dad said. Enough! Listen! I folded my arms and I glared at my brothers. They glared back. This contest had many parts, Dad said, and Rosie has kept up a fair and square. This is the tiebreaker. But remember, it's not the only point she scored, and we're giving it to her. The judges find in favor of Rosie. Woohoo! I yelled, leaping out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. I really won. We are getting a poodle. No! Danny howled. My love life is totally doomed. Miguel said, burying his head in his hands. Well, I'm not walking it, Carlos grumbled. Poodle, 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 I sang. Poodle, 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 I sang, dancing around the room. Poodle, poodle, poodle. While the boys were complaining, I looked over and my mom winked at me. She knew what it was like. She had older brothers too. And I figured she agreed with me about the shedding. It was nice to have a judge who could tell when I was right. Okay, enough moaning and groaning, boys, Dad said, wiping, that's kind of mean if he was whipping it. Wiping off the whiteboard. You all could have as much as Miss Rosie here. I beamed and fluffed my hair. I'll go online tonight, Mom said, and as soon as we find the right match, we'll get our new dog. Our new dog? I didn't care that my brothers were all mad at me. I didn't even care if they never liked my dog. She was going to be my dog, and she was going to be perfect. I'd done my research. I looked at all my photos of pretty fluffy poodles online. I already knew what color pink I wanted to paint her nails. What could go wrong? She's gonna jinx it, guys. Chapter 3. We're gonna stop right here because that was pretty long. Because the words were kind of bunched up, And anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the first 2 chapters. And if you want me to do voices, like for the characters next time, I will. And I hope you enjoy this book after I finish it for you guys. And yeah, see ya, guys. Also, guys, don't remember to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And always,